Welcome back to Severe MMA. You all know who this is. The Irish fans know him, the European fans know him, and soon the world is about to be reintroduced to PFL's latest signing, the hottest prospect in MMA. Paul Hughes has joined us today. Paul, how are you getting on?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. Loving that Florida lifestyle right now, But got a few days left, so I need to get out in that sun and keep the tan going.
It doesn't look like a farmer's tan anyway. You look like you've got a fine tan on you.
I've been trying my best. I've been trying my best. Huh?
Any excuse to flex the guns.
Did you get that in there?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard, I just hit over 1,000. Come here. This food I see every single time I feel like I go onto your Instagram. You're trying like a different flavor of international cuisine. Is this I realize you're in camp here, but it seems like you're on a bit of a food tour of the US.
For sure. You got to keep asking. The camps are long, but that's the beauty of being up at lightweight now as well. Can definitely enjoy the food a little bit more. So I mean, to be honest, it is pretty regimented. Like I have meals, a meal supplier here, but I do like to go out and treat myself every once in a while.
What, but is it like obviously is it like African food or something you've been trying? I've been very curious as
I've
to
done one of my good friends out here, Adam, who's Nigerian, so he's brought me to a few African spots, which has been great. Shout out to him. But there's like a Brazilian barbecue place, like maybe 20 minutes from Killcliff. It's in Coconut Creek, which is where ATT is. So it's just filled with fighters all the time. You see everybody you could imagine from ATT and then Killcliff as well. So it's good. It's good to try different things. Like
those ones are unreal. Are they the ones where you have like the green and the red where you flip over the have you ever seen those where you put like a stop
I
sign
know
where you want to stop eating? They're
I know what you're
dangerous.
talking about. I wouldn't need the red one. But no, this one's kind of like a Brazilian self-serve, which is I think what they do in Brazil. It's like got a whole bunch of different stuff. And then you weigh your food and then you can just go up for seconds, thirds, whatever.
Okay, okay. I don't know if you are aware, because you're all the way over in Florida, but Irish MMA has been a bit of a crazy few days here with the lack of press conference here for Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler. Now you happen to be in Florida right now. You probably have your finger on the pulse. Have you seen Michael Chandler?
I've seen Mike, yeah, yeah. Mike doesn't stop. Mike's in the gym every day, like, regardless. Like, because I seen him on Monday morning, I was like, are you not supposed to be in Ireland? I was giving him a history lesson in Ireland and all, getting him prepared. But he didn't really know what was going on. Like, just it was cancelled and that was it. He was back in the gym. What do you do?
So he's still training away.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, look, I mean, I'm not going to get any answers here. I don't think you have any answers. I don't have any answers, but we will find out
I
in
don't
in a
think
few
anybody
days.
does. I honestly don't think anybody does. It's honestly it was the McGregor. It looks like it was the McGregor. It was the McGregor camp that cancelled it. Like that's obvious. Everybody knows that. But I have no idea why. You know.
Yeah. It looks like you've been getting a good bit of work in with Mike. Like, have you been sparring with him and training with him a lot? And how much has that, I guess, benefited you, or even given you kind of like a litmus tester as to kind of to see where your level's at? Obviously, going against one of the biggest guys in the sport.
Yeah. No. I mean, obviously he's fighting McGregor, so he's doing all southpaw work. So like we haven't been sparring or doing anything this camp. We'll do an odd bit of drilling, things like that. We done some rounds the last few times I've been here, but this time, as I say, he's preparing for a southpaw, so he wouldn't really need my assistance. But anytime we have got the train, it's been a privilege. Like, Mike's he's just the best guy, such a good dude, always willing to learn and always willing to share the details, to the younger guys coming up. So great guy and wish him all the best.
I mean, it's very cool to see, one of our own over there training with one of the most high profile fighters in the sport. You completely understandable. You're a lovely guy. You get on well with everyone. You're training with him. But I do know that Conor McGregor can be a little bit petty sometimes. And I was listening to Caelan Loughran talk with Sean Sheen and then Pete Carroll about getting the unfollow for posting about Guinness. Are you worried about getting unfollowed from Conor McGregor because you're posting photos with Michael Chandler?
I think that ship already sailed. I used to work with Paradigm. They used to be my management. I left them maybe at the end of last year. And I got a random tweet one day, somebody somebody going, just realized Conor McGregor has unfollowed Paul Hughes on Instagram, Twitter, all these kinds of things. But see, to be honest, look, I'm a grown ass man. I don't give a bollocks about that. And to be fair, like I honestly haven't even checked. I don't even. I would assume it is real, but like when I left Paradigm, which is obviously he's a part owner in, I kind of did expect something like that to happen. Not that I really cared that much either way. It's obviously great to have a relationship. I would prefer to have a relationship with him because he obviously was a great inspiration to me. And I do, regardless of anything, I do still see him as the greatest to ever do it. And I always will, until somebody else maybe comes along. But look, I honestly don't give a bollocks. Like I wish him all the best.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This
Oh
needs
yeah,
to be
oh,
resolved.
it could be nothing to do with that. God knows.
Yeah.
I like he doesn't give a bollocks. He's not thinking about me ever. Like I don't care. Like
Well, look, you have a lot to focus on. Never mind that in the next few weeks. It seems, based on your social media, that there's been a significant media presence, I would say, from the PFL in Florida with you. Have you been followed around? Have you noticed? Is this obviously, you're used to being in the spotlight, but this is a whole new level, right? Has it been intense? What has been the experience like?
it's been amazing. They've had so they're shooting. They call it Fight Confidential. So it's essentially like a mini documentary series that they do. So last week I had them like a full production team, and I mean like the highest I've ever seen. Like serious work. For 3 days, done like a mini documentary, which was very cool. Do you hear that noise there? There's just a streamer
No,
going off in the back. I gotta close this here 2 seconds because it's annoying me.
no butter.
Yeah, so to finish that point, so they had a team of like maybe four or five doing the mini documentary. So I had them with me at all times going out to food. There was like they had like the microphones they hold like a film set thing.
The big
We're
boom
sitting eating our
ones.
lunch. Yeah, what do you call them?
I think they're called boom microphones.
Boom microphone. So we're sitting eating lunch and they've got these things like, they're it's high production stuff. So that's nice. It's and then I had Carissa Maxwell who does a lot of content for them, her and a few of her team then on Friday, Saturday as well. So it's been good. It's been busy, but I love to see the investment that they're putting into me. It means a lot. And they obviously want to build me as one of the stars of the promotion, and it's nice to have that feeling. And to see what they are investing in me. And then yeah, I mean when I get home, I've got a lot of work to do with the European team as well. So it's really cool. It's really cool.
It's great to see, and like I wanted to ask you about obviously the signing itself and the announcement of it. There was the whole Race FO thing, and then scrambling to pull together the content to put out there for the proper announcement. It was probably a bit of a whirlwind few days. I know you were over as well, Corner and Tiernan in Amsterdam, so I'm sure that was crazy. But the dust has settled a bit now. It's been a few weeks on. How does it feel now? Like, does it still feel like this big thing, or have the emotions changed, or how are you feeling about it all?
Yeah, absolutely. I still feel great about it. You know, as the time has went on, I said this on Ariel, like that was maybe a couple of weeks after we had done the deal. As the time had went on, the more and more chuffed I had been with the deal and with the decision. And to be honest, I kind of knew I was going to go down that route, because it was clear how much they wanted to put into me, and that meant a lot. So it's been good. It definitely feels like a new chapter in my life for big time. Although I am fighting at home again. My last two fights have been at home. I've been very fortunate at that. This one's in the three arena, like co-main event on Bellator, which is obviously so iconic in Ireland. At this point, it's very exciting, and it does feel like this new chapter. I feel like in this reinvigoration of energy, not towards like, I never struggled with training. Training's always on the money, regardless. But just this new invigoration of the next chapter and the new possibilities, and now the potential to make money, and to start setting myself up and to really change my life. My life is going to be changed after one or two fights with the PFL. So it's I'm feeling damn good. I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling very, very grateful. And yeah, it's a good life.
Does it feel like a weight has been lifted off in that regard? Obviously, you haven't fought yet, so the money is still to come. But does it feel, financially that a weight has been lifted off you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I was fighting for pennies at Cage Warriors, absolute pennies, and they're an unbelievable production and promotion. But the unfortunate thing about them, basically their only downside is that they don't pay well. I mean, I had what nine I had 9 fights for Cage Warriors, and I actually totaled this up the other day. I was thinking about it. I got paid about 15K for 9 fights. And they're not just normal fights. I mean, I've sold out, I guess, 3 venues for them, fighting doing the biggest shows that they've ever done. And that's what I walked away with after 9 fights and many years and a lot of big, big nights. So you can't get by on that, you know. And not only can you not get by on that, a starting UFC salary you can't get by on. And that's the reality. I'm around it every day out here. Guys still having to do pads, still having to do this and that. So, to have the opportunity now to actually start making money, to start setting myself up, to start setting my family up, it takes a weight off the shoulders for sure. And it's fucking awesome, to be honest, to actually starting to get rewarded for the value that you do bring, which unfortunately a lot of guys in MMA don't ever get in their career, is getting paid their worth. And I feel like I'm getting that now. And if anything, that's pushing me on even more because now I've got $1 million in my sight for next year for the tournament. So it's and that would of course change everything. That would change my life. I'd be 27, probably 28. Yeah, I'd be 28 at the time with $1 million in the bank plus more. So it's awesome. I'm very, very, very content with life right now. And yeah, I'm happy, bro. I'm happy.
I don't want to try and like corny or do one of these gotcha things where you try and reveal money or anything like that. But would I be right in saying that in a single fight you'll make more than your 9 fights combined?
Multiple.
Wow.
A pretty good multiple, you know, of what I've made in 9 fights in Cage Warriors. Well, I'll make in one night. It's kind of crazy, man. It's crazy, but I deserve it. And fighters, we do deserve it. We put everything on the line. We put our brain health on the line for pennies for so long in this career. And I just feel like I just hope all fighters get paid more and go to where they're valued, because that's what matters, and setting yourself up and setting your family up and looking after the people close to you is what matters.
You've gotten a great push since joining the promotion, and rightly so. But I'm curious, have you noticed any fighters that, I mean, people who keep an eye in Europe will have known you already, but there will be some who may not, who may only be kind of being introduced to you now. Are there any fighters on the roster? Is there anyone that's kind of piping up now all of a sudden that you've been signed to say, hang on, this guy's getting a load of shine and I want that? Have you had guys calling you out? Have you noticed any of this? I've seen you in
Has
in
there
Usman
oh,
Nurmagomedov's comments.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm dropping some little hints in there, I wouldn't mind another world title in my name. But he's out here talking like, oh, I want to fight here, I want to fight there. He was supposed to fight that month and he pulled out. I mean, like, keep talking, like, get in there and fight. So, we'll see. We'll see how this Dublin goes down. If that opportunity presents itself, you're damn right. I want another world title. But anyway, we'll not get too far ahead of ourselves. I've got Bobby King, a very, very tough. Like, I think I don't know. Sorry, you weren't on the media day the other day. We were on the media day the other day with Bobby, and people were kind of like talking about, oh, how do you feel about, maybe being thrown in there with someone like you're supposed to lose to? And I stopped him. I was like, have you watched his fights? Like, this guy is a tough, 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 durable fighter and does damage, like, so Bobby is someone that I'm not taking lightly. Um, but anyway, I kind of went off on there on one there.
No, you're all good. Just on that, like you mentioned there, he's a durable guy. He's been through the ringer. He's been to like fourth rounds. He's had a lot of fights under his belt. I noticed that you posted might just have a 3 round war for the crack, with a kind of sadistic emoji there. Recently enough, is this what you're thinking heading into this fight?
I would like that for the fans. I would like that for the fans. Now, obviously, I'm fighting for the finish. But the reason I say that is because the more I've watched Bobby, the more I've realized, oh, okay, like this guy is going to be in it to the final bell. Like he's a dog and he hits hard and he's a great fighter. So I could foresee 3 rounds happening, and if I get the opportunity to do that, I like that because number one, I get to put on a fan or a show for the fans who've traveled down from Belfast from the north and I guess for everywhere from Ireland. But also it gets me the opportunity to show my skill. I really have not got to show my skill level in my fights. People got to see, I guess Vucenic would have been, people were very impressed by that performance as they should be. It was domination. But that was more a grappling side of it where I was doing damage, dropping them. But like people really haven't got to see my full game yet. And when they do, they're gonna be blown away. There's a reason why I'm talking and I'm saying I feel like I'm the best in the world, like top 5 in the world of all organizations right now. There is a reason that I'm saying that. And I'm looking forward to for people to see that, and to prove and to back up the words that I am saying about myself.
For those who maybe are unfamiliar with Bobby King, what do you see in him as a fighter aside from the durability and the resilience that you spoke about there? And what type of fight do you think he's going to bring out of you?
I think, if I was to watch my fights and think, how can I beat this kid? I think if I was to put myself in his shoes, he would think, let's go get on him early with pace and pressure. Let's try get him tired. Let's try take him down. Because a lot of people have had success or have tried to actively like really wrestle against me. So if I was in his shoes, that's what I'd be thinking. Put a pace on him. Like Bobby trains in Utah, between Utah and Colorado, so obviously high elevation places. So he's got a gas tank. If I was him, I'd be saying, go put it on this kid early, get him tired, and just keep in his face. But I absolutely welcome that, and that's why I say it could be a 3 rounder. And in a way, I kind of hope it is, just so I can have a good scrap out there, 3 arena, just make a little bit of a show for my first fight. But yeah, it's all good.
I mean, I think it's definitely going to be a show, and knowing the big news crew that tends to
Mhm.
travel to your events, I'm sure it'll be quite the rowdy one. I've experienced their rowdiness. My camera was sent flying in the horse show house before your fight in the RDS. Um, we've seen your fans in full voice, versus the French crowds, balcony to balcony for the Charriere fight. Um, what can we expect? I've seen posts going up. There's bigger buses being added, all sorts of stuff. What kind of a crew are you expecting down in Three Arena in Dublin come the 22nd of June?
Look, we're looking to continue to bring the energy that we have been bringing every fight, especially post COVID. Like I bring a different energy and a different atmosphere to my fights, as you're well aware, and that's a credit to my supporters, who do that. The big news crew, let's go. I mean, I still have people flying in from around Europe, from America for every single fight, because we have a good time with it, or they have a good time with it. I have a good time with it in the cage, but like as I say, we've got the pre-parties, we've got the post-parties, we've got the buses coming down from Belfast. We want to create and give people the opportunity, like the easy opportunity to jump on the bus to come do that and experience one of my fights live. And that's kind of why I want to put on a show as well, because the last two have been first round finishes, which have been I've had to do what I've had to do. But for this one, I would love to put on like an even better showing, because you think about the Charrier fight and the Vucenic fight when they were 5 rounders, like the atmosphere before it, the energy, the feeling, and then after of victory, it's an awesome feeling, and it's very fun and entertaining to be a part of. So, if you haven't got your tickets yet, get the ticks, get on the bus, and I'll see you there.
We know that the 22nd of June is going to be the taster, right? It's the introduction of Paul Hughes to PFL. We also know that you're going to be in the 2025 season. What comes in between?
What comes in between? We're trying to pry it out of me. To be confirmed. To be confirmed. We've got
I
ideas.
had to
Nothing's
try. I
set.
mean, Helwani couldn't do it. I was
Aaron,
like,
you almost got me, but I know, you're not gonna get me. But look, there's nothing set. I just have good ideas of entertaining fights that I want to have and where I want to have them, because there's so many options, which is the beauty of the PFL acquiring Bellator. I've got the opportunity to, I don't have to wait till next year to not fight. I can go fight in the Bellator Champion Series at home. They've got many more Bellator cards that year. They've also got a hell of a lot of PFL cards because they've got the playoffs, they've got the finals. So there's a lot of options, a lot of fun options, and we'll just see how it goes on June 22nd.
I'll ask one more question, a slightly different question. We'll frame it a different way. I feel like you dropped a hint earlier on in this interview. So I'll ask you, when is Paul Hughes a champion next?
Did you say where am I a champion next?
When is Paul Hughes a champion next?
Where am I a champion next? I'm a champion right now, brother, But anyway, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We've got, as I say, there's options. That's the beauty of the PFL acquiring Bellator as well. There are options there. And look, I just want whatever's the biggest, most entertaining fight that I can do. That's what I want to do for the fans. And then, of course, you've got the tournament next year. Like, that's all exciting. I'll tell you one thing, I'll definitely be the PFL World Champion next year in 2025. And I'll have that million in my bank. And to be honest, I'm aiming for a perfect season. I want finishes every fight. I want to do the perfect season, have a million in the bank. That's my plan.
Well, look, Paul, it's a very exciting time. I'm really looking forward to watching your PFL debut, your Bellator and PFL debut, the 22nd of June versus Bobby King. I arrive back from my honeymoon and we'll be getting off the plane and going directly to Three Arena. So my wife hates you, but I'm very much looking forward to it. So tune in,
Well,
22nd of June, Paul Hughes versus Bobby King. Go on ahead.
I was just saying, I greatly appreciate that. I respect that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, everyone tune in, get your tickets, ticketmaster.ie. And Paul, really appreciate the time and safe flight home back from Florida.
My pleasure, Anthony. Always great to catch up.